Okay guys, Ron here. Another city council meeting and it's packed, so must be something going on here. I have no clue. So we'll go see what's happening inside here. Maybe people are going to get mad or something here. We'll know in a minute.
There you go. There you go. I'm going. I'll see y'all later. No, we're going to something. I know, but I was asking somebody was.
Any of the ordinances and resolutions coming before us. First, if you could please approach the podium and state your name and address for the record. Everyone will have 3 minutes to speak, and I ask that you direct your comments and or questions to the commissioners and not to the staff people. Once you return to your seat, we will do our best to answer your questions this evening, and if we need more time to research your question, we will get back to you in a few days with answers to those questions. And the first public hearing this evening is going to be Resolution 23-09, the final millage. The taxing authority is the city of Bellevue. The rollback rate is 4.4028. The percentage of increase over the rollback rate is 13.56%, and the millage rate to be levied is 5 mils. Resolution 23-09. A resolution of the City Commission of Bellevue, Florida, adopting the final levying of ad valorem taxes for the City of Bellevue, Florida for the fiscal year 2023-2024 and providing for an effective date. Marge?
This is our millage for the next fiscal year, which starts October 1st, 2023, and ends on September 30th, 2024. The spending roll, any millage over the rollback rate needed to fund the budget is 13.56%. The reasons the ad valorem tax revenues are increasing are due to growth and increased property value. Our millage has stayed the same at 5 mils, which it has been for the last 6 years. If you have any questions on that?
Thank you. This is a public hearing. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak for or against Resolution 23-09? Okay, I'm going to close the public part of the hearing and turn it back to the commission. Commissioners?
Motion to approve. Second.
We have a motion and a second. No further discussion? Mariah, call for the vote, please.
Commissioner Golden?
Yes.
Commissioner Dwyer?
Yes.
Commissioner Lipsey?
Yes.
Commissioner Smith?
Yes.
Mayor Dukowski?
Yes. The next item on our agenda is the final reading of ordinance 23-10, fiscal year budget. Resolution 23-10, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Bellevue adopting the final budget for the City of Bellevue for the fiscal year 2023-2024 and providing for an effective date. Marge?
The total budget is $15,465,552. Of that, the general fund budget is $9,256,624. The water sewer fund budget is $5,559,653. The special revenue for recreation impacts is $103,600. Special revenue for police impacts is $140,500. And the CRA fund is $405,175. I was glad to answer any questions.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak for or against the resolution? I'm going to close the public portion and turn it back to the commission. Commissioners?
Motion to approve 23-10, Mayor.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Mariah, call for the vote, please.
Commissioner Goldman,
Yes.
Commissioner Dwyer,
Yes.
Commissioner Levesey,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Mayor Dombrowski.
Yes. The next item on our agenda is the final reading of ordinance 2023-11, Internet Cafe Management. Ordinance 2023-11, an ordinance of the City of Bellevue, Florida, relating to simulated gambling devices and internet cafes, amending Chapter 14, Article 4 of the City of Bellevue Code, providing for authority and purpose, setting forth findings of fact, providing for definitions, providing for a prohibition of the use of simulated gambling devices, providing for exemptions, providing for conflicts with state law, providing for violation, enforcement, penalties, and remedies, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, providing for repeal, providing for inclusion in code, and providing an effective. Chief Allen?
Yes, ma'am, this is the ordinance that we brought last time in reference to the internet cafes. We had met with the Department of Gaming and said that all the internet cafes did have illegal devices in them. The city attorney has already met with the attorney for the State Gaming Commission and had conversations with him. We brought this based on logistics for the city as far as investigating these internet cafes, and if we have to store their machines. It's extremely cost deficient for the city. We cannot afford to sustain the investigations and manpower or the knowledge or the facilities to warehouse their equipment. Basically, the source.
Thank you, Chief. This is a public hearing. Is there anyone in the audience who, Mariah, do you have anyone signed up?
We have one card.
Okay, so we're gonna begin with the person who signed up. Can you please read your name for the record?
Akash Patel.
Ms. Patel, and if you could please state your name and address for the record, and you will have 3 minutes.
Hi, my name is Akash Patel, from Sarasota, 2283 Midnight Pearl Drive. We're one of the owners here in town with one of the arcades. I understand that the chief is having an issue with the arcades in town, saying that they're causing a nuisance, but in actuality, we're doing the best we can with the rules and regulations that have been provided by you guys in the city to continue operations, provide security and whatnot at our establishments. What we would like to present to you guys is White Springs offers a fee-based license that is due every quarter to help cover the cost of having whatever the city needs to use it for. Theirs is $24,000 every 3 months. We're willing to provide those necessary funds for the city to use in helping regulate and make it easier on them. And I do have, what the city of White Springs has. I can give that to you guys so you guys can review.
Okay, since Mariah put that, and I will say for ex parte communication, some of the internet cafe owners brought this to me about a week ago, so I already had a copy of that.
That's it.
Okay, thank you so much. Is there anyone else who would like to speak for or against this ordinance this evening?
I was way back there. I try to stay out of everybody's way. My only question is when I saw the video of them going through the establishment, like I don't have a dog in this hunt, but if that guy that was there worked for the Gaming Commission and those were illegal games, why didn't they shut it down then?
Travis?
Right?
Travis Thornton. resident
Somebody didn't do their job.
Address 5528 Southeast 110th Street. here we are again. There isn't gonna be a single Bellevue resident that gets up here and stands here and says, hey, we wanted these places here, and we want them to stay. But we got them from Sarasota coming offering to drop 25 grand every quarter on you. They're making money, but the elephant in the room is, it's illegal. Has been since day one. Has been since day one. Now, I realize why they were allowed to come in here, even though most of the other residents don't. But this is our opportunity right now, our second opportunity, to do what's right for the residents of this city and this community. And it's up to the 5 of you to do it. If there's another resident of this city that will get up here and say, hey, we want them here, they're doing great things, let them come up here and say it. But they're not going to. They're not going to. And anybody that gets up here and advocates for these places aren't from here.
I am.
In the audience, please refrain from speaking.
Well, that's a blanket statement.
I need everyone to refrain from speaking while we have a speaker at the podium. You can only speak if you come to the podium and speak to the commission.
Thank you, Mrs. Mayor. Now, I implore you, Mr. Buck, Mr. Lindsay, Ray, wherever Mr. Goldman went, to please. And I'd like time to have it back on since I've been interrupted multiple times.
3 minutes.
Chief, if you can give him.
3 minutes.
I'm gonna say it again, if you cannot refrain from speaking, you will have to leave the room. You cannot interrupt the speakers.
I would like to ask the 5 of you, again, this week, 2 weeks later from the last meeting, to uphold your vote and start closing these things down tomorrow. Please. Thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to speak before the commission? And please state your name and address for the record.
Yes, my name is Buddy Jefferson, I live in Waha. First address is to you, sir. Aren't you the guy from Pasta Fair?
You may not ask questions, sir. You may speak to the commission and to myself. You may not direct questions to the
From
audience.
Pasta Fair, the fellow who say that, said that he has a problem that he almost got ran over from an alcoholic. If I'm not mistaken, they serve alcohol in Pasta Fair, beer, wine, alcohol. How we know it wasn't one of his own customers? And, okay, the casinos, yeah. Has this meeting been seriously publicized for the Bellevue citizens to come here? Because I can tell you, everyone that goes to those casinos is quick to tell you this is one of the biggest mistakes made. Once again, what do you have planned for your citizens, elderly citizens? Because I can tell you by experience, they love the casinos. Okay, whether they come there and win and lose, which most of them actually do win. What do you got planned? And you talked about the crime rate, sir. You said crime rate, okay. There's crime rate and everything, including the Bellevue Police Force. The officer that was arrested a couple of days ago for methamphetamine. There's crime in everything, man. There's not one of you that can sit up there and say, you've never committed a crime. That's all we're saying, and no one's perfect, but we're not hurting no one. We're not robbing them. You know, like I said, they come in, we give them drinks, snacks, we feed them for free, and this also goes for all the elderly and all the less fortunate. They come in there with $1. They're going out there with 2-3 bags of chips, 2 or 3 sodas. Are y'all providing that? No one's providing it. Casinos are, all 8 of them. We are doing a public service. Okay, maybe we're not Pasta Fair, but once again, they serve alcohol. How many people have gone there, got drunk, went home, beat the crap out of their wife, kids, almost killed somebody on the road? Nothing's perfect in this life. We're just asking for a fair shot by the service and a good time for people. We're not hurting no one, we're not robbing no one. You know, I mean, what? The gaming commission said that they don't have the manpower or the resource to govern us, said it's up to y'all. Okay, it's up to y'all. You stipulated us, did we not follow them? Yes, we did.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else in the audience who would like to speak for or against the ordinance this evening? Yes, ma'am. If you could please state your name and address for the record.
You guys don't need to state your name and address. You don't have to. I don't do it, never, never.
3056 Southwest 93rd Street, Avenue.
That's public record.
And I go to these casinos, and I like them, and I wish they would say, because I have nowhere else to go and have fun, okay? I don't drink anymore, so I don't go to bars. And as far as the security goes, they take their own security guards, so the police division doesn't have to worry about anything, because they're already taking care of that. There's no pollution and garbage out in parking lots. People are all really relevant and very nice. I made some really good friends, you know, with these people that work there, and people, I just go in there. So yeah, it's the biggest disappointment for me, is, you guys close them down, it really is. And that's, I know a lot of people feel the same way, they just don't want to say nothing.
If you guys talk,
I just wanna,
if you guys
know
talk,
that I'll
invoke
take
your
care of
Fourth
it.
Amendment right to be secure in your person. Don't give them your
Is there
information.
anyone else who would like to participate? Yes, ma'am. Please state your name and address for the record.
And I'm here in hopes that the internet would, remain open because I like the internet. I've been to Hard Rock several times, but the money that I bet, I can't afford to go to Hard Rock. So I'm in hopes that, you all will stay in standing for the internet to remain open. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak this evening? Please state your name and address for the record.
Collins, 230 Southwest 84th Lane, Cordell. I just wanted to come up and, I'm not defending at all. They had gotten state's letter from the Gaming Commission. The owners had contacted the Gaming Commission, because on the letters it did say, you must remove these machines, they're illegal. There was no date. The owners took it upon them, go ahead and call, find out when. Okay, you have 10 days from the date of this letter to remove those machines. The owners removed the machines. I don't know which ones did or did not, but I know of at least 3. I don't go to all of them. They removed the machines and they're storing them themselves. They take on that cost. My understanding is the fish tables and the computers, tomato, slot machines are gambling. They define the fish tables as a game of skill. It's a little different. Like I say, I know tomato, I'm just up here just to speak my mind. They're following the laws. If you find some that are not, just like any other business, hold them accountable. As far as storing machines, if they have illegal machines, it's the cost of the owners. It's not the cost of the city. If they're caught with illegal machines, the gaming division has, you can be fined so many dollars per machine. City's not gonna pay that if they're caught with the illegal games. It's gonna be the owners. So the owners are taking on that financial of storing them, getting rid of them, paying fines if they don't follow it. But I guess what I'm saying is the one game room you went into shouldn't ruin it for the other ones that are complying with the guards, the different things that you've required them all to do. They have done them. And again, storing the machines, that's at the cost of the owners. Having the machines illegal and being fined, that's the cost of the owners. That would in no way impact the city, which it shouldn't. You know, and then the licensing and the taxing and bringing people from other cities that come here, that's bringing money in. I found the internet cafe after my husband passed away after 24 years. There was nothing to do here. I sunk in a depression. I went one day, next thing, it's socializing. It's not gambling. It's socializing. It's a group of elderly, group of veterans, a group of people with similar things. Do you have the ones that come in there and they're wise and they're trying to make bank? Everywhere you go, they will. We don't allow that. We allow no foul language, no aggressive behavior. You're not even allowed to come to these places with a cup in your hand because we don't know whether or not it's alcohol, and we don't allow alcohol on the premises. Thank you. I just wanted to come on.
Is there anyone else who would like to speak this evening? State your name and address, please.
Candace Norton, 4430 Southeast 111th Place, Bellevue. I think the point here is that we're not trying to mess what anybody does in their personal life, but we have history, we have documentation, we have increased crime, we have issues with these fish games, and we've had issues with them having illegal machines. And the money rate, that would be a great help, but I'm sure that's not gonna cover what the city has put up, is going to be liable for allowing these to continue. So I am a citizen of the city of Bellevue and have been my whole life, and I would like for these to be closed and something better to be put in those spots. That's it.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak? Yeah, last chance. Anyone else would like to speak before we close the public portion? Okay, we're gonna close the public portion and turn it back to the session. Commissioners?
Madam Mayor, before you do that, could I address something that was said? One of the citizens that came up said that these things were illegal from the beginning. There are machines that could be put in establishments that may not be illegal. The problem here is, this ordinance was proposed because of several reasons. One is the crime typically associated with these establishments. Two, the difficulty in, and this is based on what Chief Holland and his investigator testified to at the first meeting or first reading of this ordinance. The second thing is it's difficult to accurately detail the actual crime on these premises due to their security that's there handling some of these problems without calling the police. Three, the operators of a majority of these establishments came to Chief Holland and admitted to him that they knowingly had illegal machines in their premises. After notice from the Gaming Commission, a representative of the Gaming Commission who had expertise in these machines accompanied the Bellevue Police Department investigator to those premises, and it was discovered that there were still illegal machines in each of the establishments that they visited, which was all 8, as we were told. And last, Chief Holland
That led to my question.
At the first
Why
meeting,
didn't they shut 'em down
the
then?
police department does not have the expertise or manpower to police 8 of these establishments adequately to ensure that there is no criminal activity and that there are no illegal gambling machines on these premises, and also provide adequate police protection to the community, the city of Bellevue, for which the department is responsible. In addition to that, if machines are seized, the city does not have the ability to store them without unnecessary expense. It's for all of these reasons that this ordinance was proposed to you.
Commissioner?
Well, President said everything I'm gonna say. I kinda knew when they came to town, that from friends of mine that lived in Ocala, when they were in Ocala, they had some issues. I felt right away that sooner or later we were gonna begin to have them. I've gone in the past few weeks, I won't say which ones, and sat in the parking lot of a couple of these places, and within 15 minutes, saw a few people arguing, gone in and spoke to businesses that are next door, and spoke to the staff, and they very quickly told me the problems that they have with the people coming in and out. And just the fact that the attorney said, you know, we don't have, like he said, and this was from the state, when they began, some of the machines were legal. We didn't like them or not, they were legal. Then they bring in illegal machines. They come and tell the chief,
they supposedly take them out, we follow up on them, they're still there. So how do we know if they do take them out, we go, look, they're gone, a week later, they bring them back in. I have heard from numerous citizens in town, not people out of the city of Bellevue, complain about everything from the appearance they give the city to the complaints of money, drugs, so forth.
Cause that never happens anywhere else.
It's just not a good fit, hasn't been a good fit for the city of Bellevue. So, that's where I'm at.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I spoke to Mr. Schaffheiser and Mr. Strove, about their locations. And we're in no way the morality police up here. Everybody has the right to do with their money what they want to, when they want to do. I'm not condoning gambling. I'm not saying if you gamble, you're a bad person or anything like that. Obviously, you can go do whatever you want to do. It's not worked here in the city because of the fact that there was plenty of opportunity over the last couple of years to where you were operating freely, and I'm assuming at the amount of money you're willing to pay quarterly, that you've been financially rewarded handsomely. So the fact that you would bring in illegal machines on top of that just tells me that we're never gonna be able to keep up with the amount of hours we're gonna have to spend to make sure that these machines don't wind up back in these places. And Florida law has told us that they're illegal. That's not a decision that any of us up here made. That's what the state of Florida came in with their agent and told our police department and our officers, they're illegal and they should go. And one of the biggest draws too was these computer devices where people are allowed to play them on their phone from anywhere in the country. That's, definitely illegal. But there's no ifs, ands, or buts. So I think the time's run up, and like a couple of people said, the citizens that I spoke to in Bellevue, and believe me, I'm telling you with 100% fact, no one who lives in the city limits has came in and said, please keep these places open. Nobody. So for that reason, I represent the citizens of Bellevue, not my own thinking or my own logic. What the citizens of Bellevue want is what I'm supposed to project, and they don't want it. They've spoken loud and clear.
Yeah, I have one more thing. There's a reason that none of the other local areas are allowed homes, except for the situation of Sumter County for the time being. And last time I went that direction, if I'm not mistaken, there's a couple and a very large one, literally 14 minutes south of here. There's an alternative. Not here. And we do that as a motion to approve.
One second.
And a second?
Well, I have to go back to what I said last week, kind of following what Commissioner Reagan said. Our hands are tied. State commissioner came in and said, it's illegal. We're sitting here as commissioners trying to run the city the way we feel it should be run, and I don't think we have the choice at all. Now, I've been here 46 years, and I know these internet machines, they've been here for 25 of those 46 years, I think. And they were here one day, and they're gone the next day because they're illegal. Then they're back again, and then they're gone again, then they're back again, and I know you fellas have gone back and forth. because I think this is, and you know, we tried to work with this. 2 or 3 years ago, we tried to work with everybody. I'm pro-business, I hate to see anybody go out of business, I hate to see workers lose their jobs. But it gets down to the point, us as commissioners, we have to do what the law says and what's good for the city of Bellevue. So with that in mind, I think we have to understand that they are, in the state's eyes, illegal, and we have to use that in any decision we make.
Any further discussion from the commission before we vote? Okay, all right, we have a motion and a second. Can we call for the vote, please?
Commissioner Dwyer,
Yes.
Commissioner Lizzie,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner Coleman is absent, Mayor Dukowski.
Yes. The next item on our agenda is a public hearing of the final reading of ordinance 2023-13, code enforcement citation. I'm gonna pause.
So all you people show up, nobody talks? Are you kidding me? That's unbelievable, right?
Looks like we got an open seat now.
Can you believe that? I go up there and try to stick up for them, and all these people just walk out. What the hell? I don't get it.
I'm doing research for college.
Well, then you need to stick around because they're getting ready to get blasted.
I'm staying around.
Because I'm going to blast them.
Can you send me that video you got?
Hmm?
Can you share that video with me?
I can give you my YouTube channel. How's
you have
that?
a YouTube channel?
Yes, sir. My oath doesn't expire. All one word.
Well, you're gonna post that later?
Yes. See, I keep shit short and sweet. And that was a valid question. If that guy worked for the State Gaming Commission, he has the authority to shut things down. Why didn't he? Why didn't he?
They could revoke everything, you know?
Instantaneously. They don't have to do anything.
What was the...
My oath doesn't expire.
I think it's a really unfair decision that you guys have made. We really tried to.
You can't speak out for the record, I apologize. Sir, if that is protocol of the hearing. I'm gonna call the meeting back to order, and we're gonna continue with ordinance 2023-13. An ordinance amending chapter 2, article 5, regarding violations of the city code, providing as an alternative enforcement procedure the issuance of a citation, summons, or notice to appear in court, providing for penalties, and providing for an effective date. Shauna?
Yes, this is the final reading for the enforcement by citation. This will be in cases where all other code enforcement procedures have been unsuccessful. In that case, someone from the police department would accompany our code enforcement officer to the site and issue the citation. Staff recommends a motion for approval.
This is a public hearing. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak for or against this ordinance?
Yes.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Akash Patel, 2283 at Pearl Drive, Sarasota. When the letters originally went out,
Sir, are you referring to the ordinance 2023-13? The public hearing for the other ordinance has been voted on, so we're not entertaining on that topic.
thank you.
Is there anyone who would like to speak on ordinance 2023-13? And name and address for the record.
Travis Thorpe, 5528 Southeast 110th Street, Bellevue, Florida. Mr. Lindsay, I kind of thought 2 weeks ago the thing about the garbage cans was a little bit laughable, to be honest, until I attended that meeting and I started to notice over the last 2 weeks how many garbage cans just aren't going back to the rear house or whatever. And I know that the attorney said that there was a time frame because nobody in the city really works on Fridays.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna stop you, I apologize. It's still not the ordinance that we're on. That ordinance failed for lack of,
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought
Okay.
this was about
It's
code
okay.
enforcement. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
it's about, Shauna, can you explain? And you're welcome to speak on it.
It's okay,
We
I'm
know
sorry,
we're on the
Mrs.
same-
Mayor, I apologize. But I think you're onto something, Mr. Moon.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Is there anybody who would like to speak on ordinance 2023-13, which is a code enforcement related ordinance, and it provides for alternative enforcement procedures by issuing a citation in lieu, or in addition to our normal code enforcement procedures, only for, if you read the ordinance, under special circumstances where we haven't really gotten any relief from using our normal procedures. Anyone like to speak on that one? Okay, I'm going to close the public hearing for that and turn back to the question.
Motion to approve 2023-13.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Ryan, call for the vote, please.
Commissioner Smith?
Yes.
Commissioner Golden is absent from the room. Commissioner Dwyer?
Yes.
Commissioner Lipsey?
Yes.
Mayor Dombrowski?
Yes. The next item on our agenda is a public hearing, a final reading of ordinance 2023-14, construction noise. An ordinance amending chapter 38, article 2, regarding nuisances to add sections 38 through 45 through 38 through 48 construction noise, providing for exceptions, providing for enforcement and penalties, and providing for an effective date. And that's also under Shauna.
So, since the last meeting, for the first reading, we were asked to make some changes to the dates and the time, days and time that, the construction noise would be allowed. And that is Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m., Saturday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., and then Sunday there would be, none. So we made those changes that were requested at the first hearing and ordinance 2023-13.
This is a public hearing. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak for or against ordinance 2023-14?
Absolutely. You ever heard the term ex post facto? He has. You're going to make criminals out of law-abiding citizens if they work on a Sunday with the stroke of a pen on a piece of paper. The U.S. Constitution and the Florida Constitution strictly states no ex post facto laws shall be passed. If you guys do this, I hope these guys get together and bring legal against you guys.
Thank you. Is there anybody else in the audience who would like to speak for or against this ordinance?
Told you.
And that's very public portion, and
Motion to approve, Mayor. I'll second.
I do have one question. The chief at the last meeting brought up the incidence of if in a neighborhood, if there was an individual residence that was, for example, getting a new roof, how will that be handled under this? Is that?
Under exemptions, number 1, it's on page 2 of the ordinance. The operation of any power tools and such, and maintenance of real property between sunrise and sunset of any day of the week is an exemption in residential neighborhoods.
So we have a motion and a second.
Mayor, I thought we put in that we defined the construction notices in the, thought it was, if either was a commercial contract with agricultural or the work activities. Then, there's not an exception on Sunday.
What happens is if the residents themselves are doing work, then it's fine.
If there is a motion, to approve, then the person who makes that motion needs to, say with that amendment to what is in front.
It's not.
I understand that. I do understand what you're saying. It doesn't really address my question, because if it just made me think when the chief brought it up, what do we think about that? Is that fine with everyone? Do we want to make an exception? Individual resident homes? Or do you have justification for doing so? But the question is, the chief had brought up at the last meeting that aside from just what we all are thinking of as construction, like, you know, auto plants, or Red Oaks, where they're, you know, doing construction, building new homes, if we have individual homes in our neighborhoods who are perhaps someone's getting a new roof, and, you know, if their roof workers are working on a Sunday, is that something, do we want to hold them to this ordinance, or do we want to make an exception for that type of construction if it's individual residents?
My comment to that, is I have a problem not letting them work on Sunday. The construction guys are busy, they need to work, and I do have a problem not letting them work on Sunday, I think that should be in there. Now, I don't live where all this noise is coming from, it's basically new developments, and I've never experienced it, so I don't have firsthand knowledge of it, but I do, as I said before, believe in pro-business. I don't think we should sit here and try to enforce things on a business that could affect their own business and cost them money by telling them they can't work.
I agree, but I thought we covered it at the last meeting.
And
I
some,
mean, I don't
Mayor,
mind, I don't mind them working on.
What I brought up there was the homeowner that is building a playhouse or something in their own backyard.
okay,
If that rule still applied to the homeowner.
okay, which I guess it doesn't, that's probably exempt, okay. Yeah, I mean, I had kind of thought that too, and then I see that it ended up saying no work at all on Sunday. I would be fine with letting them work on Sunday with a limitation on the hours like we did on Saturday. I mean, I agree with it.
I voted no last meeting
Yeah.
because of that particular instance. I think, well, you're in a construction, but I'm sure you've worked on Sundays before and had to communication probably. And I just think, I don't like sitting telling the guy who, in
Well, that's what I
his
said.
business trying to make a living, that he can't do something.
Yeah, that's what I said last time, to just limit the hours, so they're not out there, you know, all afternoon, banging and making noise on Sunday.
Mayor.
People riding and doing their day off.
You also have a citizen that would like to speak on this matter.
Okay, I've closed the public portion, but when we're done talking, I'll open it back up before we vote, okay?
So
Mayor,
what do we?
Mayor, based on the comments of the commission, if anybody makes a motion to adopt this ordinance, if what I've heard is the will of the commission, that motion should include amending section 3847 to add to subsection 3 to read the conduct of any permitted construction activities Monday through Friday no sooner than 7 a.m. and no later than 8 p.m. on Saturdays and Sundays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna open the public portion back up, if you could please state your name and address for the record. You'll
You
have
can
3
fight
minutes
City
to
Hall.
speak, and please direct your comments
Yes.
to this,
People choose not
My name's
to.
Bree
It can be
Johnson,
done.
And I live, 6420 Southeast 108th Street, Bellevue, Florida. So when you were talking between yourself and with this ordinance that you're trying to pass for noise and construction, so let me understand this. A private individual who works from Monday to Friday and say they do side work on Saturday and Sunday, trying to make a living, and they're not allowed to do that because they're gonna get cited because they're not allowed to go out and cut a tree down or build something. Is that what you're saying? That's not allowed?
Yeah, once you've completed your presentation, if you'll be seated, I'll explain the.
Oh, okay, because that's what I'm asking, because I have a son who works Monday through Friday, and he does pick up money on Saturday and Sunday, his only 2 days so off, doing different services, and there is noise, and he does do it on Saturday and Sunday, because usually the homeowner's home, they wanna see what you're doing, and this and that, and it works for him. So, I don't understand your exceptions or what you're doing, because you were talking between
Oh,
yourselves.
I'll explain it.
Okay.
Is that it? Okay, thank you. So what we are discussing right now is the voting to allow people to continue to work on Saturdays and Sundays, just limiting the times from 8 a.m. until 5 p.m., just so that neighbors can enjoy their weekend without construction into the wee hours of the morning. And as Fred said, if we're interested in adding Sunday back on there, there would have to be an amendment to the initial motion and the second.
Mayor, not to throw a mention to it, but I was thinking more on Sunday from 8 to 3. Where people have their quiet time in the afternoon on Sunday.
Oh my God.
And what the ladies just said about people working, trying to make money on weekends. But, you know, the neighbor wanting to have a family get together next door may not really appreciate the chainsaws and nail guns and loud radios and hearing stuff when they get the family.
But they can do that if they're having a party.
So, I would amend for Sundays from 8 to 3.
Okay, did the person who seconded that accept that amendment? I think it was you, right?
What I wanted to say was, I have no problem with anybody doing what they want on their own property any day of the week. But as far as the commercial part of it, as a person who's worked shift work over the years, or people that work Monday through Friday, and there are only 2 days off for Saturday and Sunday, and then they have commercial work going on next to them Saturday, I think at some point you should have one day of peace in your neighborhood where people aren't actively working. Now, if my neighbor's working on something, you know, I don't have no problem with that, but if a big construction crew still going to work on Sunday, I don't think there should be any of that, but I
Okay.
think that's what we're.
Okay, so you don't want to accept his amendment as a second, is that correct?
No, yeah, I don't.
You don't agree with that? Fred,
No.
what do we?
So what do you want?
Vote on the ordinance as offered. If it fails,
Okay.
then you can, actually, if somebody seconds, Commissioner Dwyer has not accepted a friendly amendment. Now, somebody can move to amend this, and if they get a second from either you or Mr. From Commissioner Lizzie, then you vote on that amendment, then vote on the ordinance as amended.
Mayor,
Yes.
is it okay to ask Commissioner Garner what he might suggest for Sunday?
He's told you nothing.
Nothing like no work at all?
Well, like I said, anybody working on their own property or working
Oh,
on their own
absolutely.
cars, yeah, that's
That's what I'm
fine.
talking about.
I'm talking about, but as far as commercial, I think if living in a neighborhood, they've been working Monday through Saturday, you should have one day of peace where you can do you know, we're talking about, a family function, you're supposed to start at 4 or 5 o'clock at night, you know? So that's just my own personal feeling.
So you don't want any work?
Other than working on your own stuff, you know, whatever you do on your own, yeah, that's commercial.
Mayor, I've got to jump in again.
Yeah, please.
I made a statement earlier, Sandy disagreed with me. I disagree with Sandy. This ordinance was written that if it is construction that is permitted, meaning that you have to get a permit to do it. You cannot do work outside of these hours. Some homeowners do their own work on their own property and have to get a permit. So as this ordinance is written, if you have to get a permit to do it, you can't work on Sunday. Now that's the way this ordinance is written. If you don't want it to say that, then it needs to be amended. And I'm gonna suggest that you come to a decision tonight, and I will redraft this, because attempting to orally make amendments with the amount of disagreement and confusion we have, I don't think that's gonna be successful. And so I would suggest that you discuss this, tell me what you want, and I'll fix it all. And it'll be on the agenda next time.
Okay.
Before you vote on it, can I say something?
Mayor, you do have the alternative of somebody proposing that you approve it as it's here with an amendment. It can be verbalized here tonight if you're worried about the advertising.
Well, what I was gonna suggest was the ordinance as written with amended that it affects permitted work excluding home.
So if a homeowner pulls permit for a fence, they can still do it, but.
If you want to allow contractors to work on Sundays, Mr. Lizzie proposed, and as you said, then, you need to offer that amendment. If you're willing to have none on Sunday, and you just want to make the small amendment you just said, you can do that. Either way.
Okay, so we had originally talked about amending it to state between 8 and 3. Holy crap. And then also, you would like to amend it to allow homeowners. Can you say that again, I'm sorry?
If it's the homeowner doing the work, even if he pulls the permit, if it's the homeowner, then I have no problem.
So an exemption for homeowner pulled permits.
Right. Now, what are your thoughts on it for the three of us? What do you?
Yeah, I think what you just, those two things I'm fine with. I mean, if we wanna allow, people to work from 8 until 3 on Sunday and then give the opportunity to rest, I would be okay with that. And I also would agree that we should exempt homeowners because that's obviously sometimes the only opportunity they have to do work, is they work from home. We've closed the public portion, I've opened it, I've closed it, I'm gonna open it, this is the last time I'm gonna open it, okay, so if there's anyone else who wants to speak, this is your opportunity. So I need you to, state your name and address for the record, and you'll have 3 minutes.
I'm Jerry Lashinsky, I live along 738 Southeast 55th Avenue. This is a very broad stroke on construction. I personally have had Bellevue PD at my house at 12 a.m., 1 a.m. for contractors that are doing cable work and stuff like that, beepers going, lights flashing, and we're told they can't do anything. Now we're hammering on a contractor we're only doing construction to build a house. What about those guys? Are we gonna take care of that at 1 o'clock in the morning when I'm told there's nothing we can do? I told the officer there, I'll cut his hydraulics and drop it to the ground. I'm trying to sleep, I got a job.
This doesn't just mean house construction, this is construction.
Well, I'm saying, well, that's what I'm saying, it's a broad stroke. We keep talking about hammers and nails and screws, but we're not talking about beepers and backup lights and flashing
We
lights and
are.
all of those things.
That's included in the ordinance.
Okay.
Okay, is there anybody else who wants to speak about this before I close it to the final thing? Okay, closing the public portion, bringing it back to the minutes.
So you all know where we're at.
My comment is we're dancing around a subject that's very sensitive and I don't know where.
I am going to guess that if you put forward that amendment and if I were to pass the gavel and accept it, we're just going to get 2 no votes because we have 2 people who don't want to work on Sunday. I would suggest that perhaps if we vote on this and it fails, to have Fred rewrite it with some of the things that we've talked about and then discuss when we have a full board.
I was gonna say we're not gonna go forward.
Yeah.
Fred, are we allowed to table this till the next meeting?
Yes, you have to re-advertise it, so you might as well vote on it.
Yeah.
You can't
But you
table,
can't
by the way,
table
it's not called tabling. If you table something, it has to be brought back up before the end of the meeting.
Oh, okay.
Because we operate under Robert's Rules of Order. Now, you can postpone it to another date, but then we would have to re-advertise. So, I would suggest you go, I didn't think you had 2 no votes. Maybe I misunderstood Commissioner Lizzie when he said that he thought the contractors should be able to work on Sunday. Unless you're gonna vote no.
Oh, that is what you said.
That's what we're saying.
Okay, we're all on the same page then. Okay, so if you want to make that, friendly amendment, which would allow, people to work from 8 till 3 and then exempt homeowner pulled permits, then, we would need a second to that, so if you wanted to do that, feel free.
That is my amendment, correct.
Do we have a second to that? Okay, I'm gonna pass the gavel, and I'm gonna second that amendment.
I have a problem with the 8 to 3, I think the state, like sticking our nose in another person's business.
Well, that's what we're here
Wow, did you guys hear
Okay, so
that?
we have a
That's what
motion.
we're here for.
And we have a second.
I cannot believe he
Do
just
we have
said
any
that.
further discussion? Ryan Thompson.
Commissioner Dwyer,
No.
Commissioner Lipsey,
No.
Commissioner Smith,
for. Yeah.
Mayor Dukowski.
Yes.
Mayor, I apologize.
Sorry.
You know that, yeah.
So then what we need to do, readdress it?
It fails because it fails to get a majority. And if the commission directs me to make another try with some of the things that you had in mind, I'll do it.
Should we try to get with you separately, or we have to do that at a meeting?
Just tell me now what you want me to bring back when you have a full commission, I'll have it for the next time. Your stumbling block right now is Sunday at 3 or Sunday at 5.
You know, we could put the topic on the next agenda when we have a full commission.
Yeah.
And you can decide.
Please.
Why don't we do that before we have Fred? Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, because I gotta get up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Okay, the next item on our agenda is unscheduled audience. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak before the commission this evening?
I'd like to speak.
Okay, and you'll have 3 minutes to speak. And please direct your questions and comments to the commission.
So, we've already paid for 2024 fees. What can we do about getting reimbursed for that? Since we do have to close tomorrow for the internet cafes.
Yeah, that is a
If it's a fee for 2024, I would think they would be entitled to a refund.
Okay. Yeah, Shauna,
So how do we
can you,
go about?
can you work with Fred and Sandy on what we need to do as far as refunding those portions of the fees?
That would be the business tax, the fee for each machine, and also the $5,000 annual fee.
If it's paid in advance for 2024, yes.
Okay, just check.
We'll just process it.
Yeah, so they'll process those refunds, yeah.
So how does that work? Do I just come into the city tomorrow and just pick up a check? How does that,
We'll have to internally do that, and it'll go to finance and.
Yeah, it probably won't be
Most
easy,
likely
you know,
mail.
probably take a couple of days. And will you mail those or?
She said next week.
Okay,
We're done with AP for this week, so it'll have to be next week.
so they'll be
Okay,
mailed
so-
next week.
who do I give my contact information to?
They should have it.
We should have all of your
Yeah.
contact information. We keep all the owner information in your file, so it's the same owner and.
Okay, thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to speak before the commission this evening?
I get to bed early tonight, which is a good thing. Thomas Paine wrote something very interesting in his pamphlet, Common Sense. He said this, "Here then is the origin and rise of government, namely a mode rendered necessary by the inability of moral virtue to govern the world. Here too is the end of government, freedom and security." And as I think about our founding documents, and I study a lot of government, you guys are not the first public body I've been before, obviously. The way our framers set us up is that we have life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and those are individual rights. I think you guys are extremely misguided, misinformed as to your duties. You took an oath to the United States Constitution. That's your oath. And as I look at, and also they added the Florida Constitution, one of the things I noticed is in the Florida Constitution, you actually changed the wording of the Florida Constitution oath. And what I would really like to see, because of the supremacy clause found in Article 6 of the U.S. Constitution stating that it is the supreme law of the land, that you guys would abide by that law, because nothing is above supreme. We look at God as being supreme. There's nobody above God because he's supreme. Well, that's the way the law of our land is. And I think of 16th American jurisprudence, which states that any law that violates the supreme law is not even a valid law. And I think you guys need to do some research and really study our documents and our history, because you're not the feelings police, sir. Your feelings have no bearing whatsoever. You're up there to do law work, not feelings work. I don't care how you feel. Okay? Because that's the way the law works. We can't allow feelings and law to get mixed together. Because there's times when we feel something, and yet, what's the law say? Right and wrong is always right and wrong. Whether we like it or not, whether we feel like it or not, it doesn't matter. 2 and 2 can't equal anything but 4. And so with that, I'm going to cut this short because I got to get up at 0300. But thank you. You guys have a good night. Be safe.
Is there anybody else who would like to speak with the question?
Yeah, I got it. Thank you.
State your name and address to the record. You will have 3 minutes, and please direct